I think more will be revealed. I think there will be a sense of justice, but only if John Durham goes full throttle and cleans house all the way. And so far, I'm very disappointed in the fact that we didn't see anything happen with Andy McCabe. And I'm concerned that some of the bigger players, I call them the puppet masters, and their bag of tricks have not been called out.
Well, we'll see. What a great update. Thank you, Sarah. What it's revealing is just the anatomy of the swamp, all of it. The law firms, the think tanks, the politicians, it's all there together. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to set your DVR so you never miss a show. Nancy Grace is up next. See you next Sunday when the next revolution will be televised.
Year-old Kyle Rittenhouse says he travels to Kenosha as a volunteer medic and to protect local businesses during the BLM protest, but that is not how it all ended up. Out of thousands of protesters that night, one person, only one, opens fire, Kyle Rittenhouse, and he leaves in his wake 2 dead bodies and a third person shot and bleeding. Tonight, the case is heading to closing arguments. Will his claim of self-defense work with a Wisconsin jury?
Oh, he shot him.
I don't care if he had the right intentions or not. 2 people are currently dead, and one almost had his arm blown off.
The prosecution claims this was murder. Kyle Rittenhouse says it was self-defense. So it's pretty simple.
I didn't intend to kill him. I intended to stop the person who was attacking me and trying to steal my gun.
What was going through your mind at this particular moment?
That I was going to die.
It was, in your mind, justified to use deadly force to protect your own life, correct?
Yes.
I look at everybody that's in the courtroom. My son's life is in their hands.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. I want to thank you for being with us tonight. What is going on in that Wisconsin courtroom? You got an angry judge, a mother crying out of control out in the audience. The jury can see her. A prosecutor barely towing the line and now under fire by the judge, and a defense team demanding a mistrial. That's right, a mistrial. Tonight, the very latest from Wisconsin. With me, an all-star panel to break it down and put it back together again. But first, to crimeonline.com investigative reporter Alexis Tereszczuk. Hello, Alexis. How close are we to jury deliberations?
We are about 1 day away. The closing arguments are going to start tomorrow morning on Monday. Each team, the defense and the prosecution, has 2.5 hours, 5 hours total. That's it. The judge has said, you're not getting extra time. Don't even go 1 minute over. I will cut you off mid-sentence. That is it. After that, the jury will get the case.
Alexis, wait a minute. And this judge will. He's been very, let me just say, dynamic on the stand, and that's certainly putting perfume on the pig. He's been out of control. He reams everybody out anytime he feels like it, right in front of the jury. So if one of them goes a minute over of the allotted time, I'm sure he will let them have it. So I know you're saying that closing arguments are going to start bright and early tomorrow morning. Troy Slayton, high-profile lawyer, joining me out of L.A. Troy, it never happens that way. You know, we say we're going to start at 9 o'clock sharp. Somewhere there's a bailiff laughing their rear end off. It never starts on time. First of all, I predict they're going to argue about jury charges. That's a big deal, Troy Slayton, because if the defense goes for broke and says it's only going to be murder or nothing, that's a pretty big gamble. Or the state may get their way and there'll be voluntary, involuntary. What do you think?
Those are called lesser included offenses, Nancy. And of course the prosecutors want that, because at this point, they'll take anything. They'll take any kind of conviction. And on Friday, when they were discussing jury instructions, the prosecutors had a huge win when they got in the instruction of provocation, which, if the jury finds that Kyle Rittenhouse was the aggressor, was provoking this, then that vitiates his self-defense argument.
Okay, Troy Slayton, I I don't know if they make you take a vision exam before you get out of law school in California, but as I was watching the video, I definitely saw people chasing this guy down, Rittenhouse down, and then he turns around, they're attacking him, and then he shoots. Now, here is the bigger question. Can you have a teen vigilante out there looking for trouble? Is it either that or is it self-defense? The question tonight is, can both be true? Can you have a teen vigilante out with a high-powered weapon, looking for trouble, loaded for bear, and shoot in self-defense? It doesn't seem like they go together, but can it? It has been an explosive procedure in the courtroom from the get-go, but tonight, let's talk about what happened when the 2 shootings went down. 3, if you include the guy that got away. Okay, Alexis, take it from the beginning. What happened?
So, on August 25th, 2020, there was a protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kyle Rittenhouse goes with his friend. So, a few months earlier, in April of the same year, his friend had purchased a weapon for him because Kyle was only 17. He was not legally allowed to own this weapon. Kyle gave his friend the money.
Okay, wait a minute, Alexis, hold on. While you're talking, Dave, let's see some video of that night because I like to see exactly what's going on. So I want to see the protests and everything that's happening. Go ahead, Alexis. You were saying they got the weapon.
They got a weapon.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Alexis. We're seeing the Rosenbaum shooting right there. Look at this, everybody. This is what I want Troy Slayton. Troy, put on your glasses for Pete's sake. Look at this. You see Rosenbaum chasing him across the parking lot. Look, right there to the right. Look, that's Rosenbaum on the right. And there goes the gun. And if you see, just stay on that, Dave. I want to see that over and over and over. I had to slow-mo it. Hey, Dave, can you put that in slow-mo? Let's see that in slow motion. I had to run it look at that. So you see Kyle Rittenhouse running, and then you see Rosenbaum chasing him. And then it looks like Rittenhouse turns around and bam, there you go. That is the shooting of Rittenhouse. So what were you saying, Alexis?
So leading up to this, while I was setting up what happened was one of Kyle's friends, the father said, there's going to be a protest tonight. We are going to protect this local business. Why don't you come with us and protect local business? Kyle goes along, brings his gun. He then leaves that area and then he goes, and then he's in the middle of the protest. This is when this incident happens with Rittenhouse. However, what other reports have said is that before he and Rittenhouse had their altercation, so he's walking with this huge gun and he is saying, he's brandishing it and people are saying that he was threatening people with the gun. He was clearly pointing it at other people. Now,
No. You can't just say, Alexis Tereshchuk. People say he was threatening others with the gun. You have to talk about what has actually come into the courtroom. You can't project what people were saying. This is about the evidence in front of the courtroom. And you said something really interesting, Alexis Tereshchuk. I want to go out to a special guest joining us. It's Spencer Corson. Spencer, tell me about the weapon.
Yes, Nancy. The weapon has been identified as a Smith & Wesson M&P 15. Which means it was manufactured by Smith & Wesson. M&P stands for military and police, which is a category of items that Smith & Wesson sells to mostly civilian consumers. And the 15 means that it was part of a AR-15 styled rifle. It is a semi-automatic rifle, which means that for every one pull of the trigger, one bullet is fired. It has a 30-round magazine, which means it can hold 30 bullets. And the speed of fire is as fast as you can pull the trigger.
Okay, so you actually have to pull the trigger every time you want to expel a bullet. It's not automatic like a machine gun where you pull the trigger and 30 bullets come out.
That's correct. Correct. In the civilian marketplace, all rifles are semi-automatic.
But this is an M&P, S&W, AR-15 type.
Right. Smith & Wesson.
M&P is military and police.
Right. And what that means is Smith & Wesson has a line of products that are made to resemble the same kind of rifles, the automatic rifles that they would sell to their military and police counterparts.
Okay,
These particular
hold
weapons.
it, Spencer. Look at your screen. Look at your screen. It would be a cold day in HELL that my son would be out with that slung over his shoulder at night, 25 miles away from home. How did that happen? Why is he out 25 miles away from home with that slung over his shoulder? Now, what does that have to do with self-defense? Nothing, but it's just a question.
And I'd be happy to answer it for you. In my book, The Safety Trap, I talk about the cognitive bias of what's known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, which basically says that we sometimes believe ourselves to be smarter and more capable than we actually are. Just because you watch a Bruce Lee movie doesn't mean you know Kung Fu, which effectively means that lower ability people simply don't have the skills to recognize that they don't have the skills necessary to do what they think they can do. And unfortunately, when we then make decisions or engage in actions or behaviors based on that bias, the outcome is almost always self-inflicted jeopardy.
Always bad. Guys, a jury is this close to deliberations in the Kyle Rittenhouse vigilante case in Wisconsin. Will they buy his claim of self-defense? Stay with us.
This Wednesday night, Fox Nation hosts the 3rd Annual Patriot Awards.
Join Pete Hegseth for Fox Nation's biggest event of the year. This award show matters. For the first time ever, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and Laura Ingraham will take the stage to honor some of our most noble patriots. Hear stories from the real heroes all Americans should celebrate.
Watch Fox Nation's Patriot Awards live by signing up at foxnation.com. This Wednesday night, America is streaming.
Still asleep.
So, where to next?
Reflect on the past, celebrate the future. Season's greetings from Audi.
As someone who resembles someone else, I appreciate that Liberty Mutual knows everyone's unique. That's why they customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. I mean, just because you look like someone else doesn't mean you eat off the floor, or yell at the vacuum, or need flea medication. Oh yeah, that's the spot. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When I started Bright Star Care, I had one focus: to provide the highest standard of care possible. Safe, reliable, and personal. From the world's most skilled nurses and compassionate caregivers, I wanted to bring that care to people's homes, people just like you. It's been my goal for 20 years, and it always will be.
Ageless Male is now the #1 brand in male enhancement. Our Rapid Nitric Oxide Booster, our performance-boosting Wonder Pill, and our best-selling formula for boosting your total testosterone. Ageless Male. Be the man you want to be.
Get a free mesothelioma book from mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. That's why we offer this free book.
Call toll-free at 1-800-400-9216.
Meet Honeywell Forge, analytical software that connects assets and people to deliver a cybersecure record of your entire operation. Honeywell Forge, industrial-grade software.
Every Metrovac product is deliberately made better in the USA to care for your ride, your pets, your home, and your tech. It's never been more important to support the American economy and American jobs. Order your American-made products at metrovac.com.
The headlines, the events, the story. Martha McCallum breaks down every angle.
Here's where the big stories are moving.
Don't miss The Story with Martha McCallum, weekdays on Fox News Channel.
Our easy switch from blow to vac is a game changer and a time saver. A high-performance blower, yard vac, and mulcher. The Works TriVac 3-in-1 isn't a new starter for your yard work team, it's your whole roster. Weighing in at just 8.8 pounds and boasting high-capacity air volume, TriVac can tackle any yard task. Change the game from blow to vac in the flick of a switch. Conquer light and heavy debris in every corner of your yard. Mulch 16 bags worth of debris into one and retire early. Team up with TriVac, your yard work champion.
Why do nearly 1 million businesses choose Stamps.com to mail and ship? No more trips to the post office. No more paying full price for postage. And great rates from USPS and UPS. Mail letters. Ship packages. Anytime, anywhere. For less. A lot less. Get our special TV offer. A 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com/try and never go to the post office again.
Welcome back, everybody. I want you to take a look at Kyle Rittenhouse on the stand. And this is a very strategic move. It's a big gamble to put your defendant on the stand, because then the state gets to carve him up like a Thanksgiving turkey on cross-exam. But he took the stand. Look at what happened.
I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski, and there were there were 3 people right there.
Is that real? Is he really crying? Or did his lawyer coach him hour after hour after hour about when to start crying? Did he stick him with a pen? Or is he really crying? At first, I wasn't that impressed. I was a little underwhelmed with the crying, too. Body language expert Janine Driver, and author of You Say More Than You Think. Janine, then I thought it through. He is only, well, at the time, 3 years older than my twins. And I could see both of them crying under this kind of pressure. But is it real?
It is real, Nancy, and here's how we know. So authentic sadness, we see the inner eyebrows pulled together slightly up, and at the same time, the corners of his mouth go down. The big thing I look for here is that tenseness of the forehead and the dimpling of the chin. This is really hard. If he's faking it, he has to be better coached than Jodie Foster in the movie Accused from years ago.
Janine, you've got to slow down.
Nancy.
Will you say all that one more time? I'm just a lawyer, okay? What?
I love you. Okay, here we go. There's 7 emotions we all have around the planet that we show up in the same way in our face, and one of them is sadness. And how sadness shows up, whether you're from Zimbabwe, Chicago, or Iraq, is our inner eyebrows pulled together and up, the forehead gets tense, the corners of the mouth curve down, and we get this dimpling of the chin, this like stress of the chin happens. For him to have all those things happen, Nancy, at the same time to be coached, he'd have to be Jodie Foster in The Accused from decades ago. I'm dating myself. That's how good of an actor he would have to be. This is authentic sadness. Now, the key really here is what is the trigger, part of my use of words here.
You mean what is he sad about?
Is it because he got caught? Is it because he's going to jail? Is it because he wished he didn't go out that night? We don't know what the catalyst is, but this is authentic sadness. Think about Susan Smith. Remember Susan Smith?
With a machine gun? Or is he sad that he might go to jail for it?
Right, that's what we don't know. But when we think about all that, Susan Smith, we think about Scott Peterson, we think about Chris Watts. When they fake cried, they smiled with the corner of their mouth. The corner of the mouth didn't go down, they smiled. It's called duping delight. We don't see any smiling happening here. When people fake cry, especially when the stakes are high, Nancy, and you at home, when the stakes are high, the fake crying is just a sound. The corners of the mouth don't go down. Instead, they go up and they curve in a smile. Hit Google. Look at all those people, those murderers. When they fake cried, the corners of their mouth go up. It's called duping delight. Here's a picture we brought for you. Look at the difference. The top right, we see Neil Entwistle murdered his wife and newborn baby daughter. Bottom left, we have Susan Smith, decades ago, killing her 2 kids, put them in a car, drowning them because she was dating a guy that didn't want to date a woman with kids anymore, Nancy. And then, of course, Chris Watts here, who killed his pregnant wife, Shanann, who was pregnant, and his 2 young daughters, 3 and 4, Celeste and Bella. Look at the smile. These are the moments where they were making the crying sound, saying they were sadness. Boom, under Neil Entwistle's face, under his fingers, we see the smile. Susan Smith, Chris Watts. Now let's go up to Kyle. That is authentic sadness. We just don't know what the catalyst is for the sadness. This is authentic. He was a 17-year-old kid when this happened. I think he's really guilty of having low emotional intelligence.
Wow. Okay, that was a mouthful. And that's brilliant. Everything that you just said. But the question is, Dr. Bethany, now hold on, Dr. Maroney, I want to get to you about the autopsies and what these victims went through. But Dr. Bethany, is he sad he did it, or is he sad he got caught?
I think he's dysregulated from hours on the stand, and the crying is just a way to release all that emotion, because on the stand, he's really realizing the gravity of what he's done. Unfortunately, he did not realize the gravity when he bought the gun. He didn't realize the gravity when he was in the crowd, but he certainly realizes the gravity now. And one of the reasons we cry is to try to re-regulate ourselves emotionally, not just because we're sad. Nancy, there's so much we don't know about Kyle Rittenhouse, but one of the questions I would have is, he seems to have this grandiose entitlement. He represents that he's a medic, even though he has no formal training as a medic. He thinks he can protect an auto body shop or an auto business, even though he's not a policeman. He thinks he can enforce the law, even though he's just a sniveling little kid. And what does that mean about him? I think that grandiose entitlement could be cognitive deficits, like Janine said and like Spencer said, that he overestimated his abilities. But one of the things I would also wonder is he actually homicidal? You know, we can form the intent to kill days, weeks, or months before we commit a homicide. Right. Was this somebody for whom the wish to kill was waxing and waning? That would be one thing. The other thing is, he doesn't appear to be able to accept responsibility for what he's done. I would wonder, does he have an impulse control disorder where he was literally
Oh man, you're doing a lot of wondering based on what psychological exam? None. We'll be right back, guys.
There was none.
We're going to get to the bottom of what really happened on January 6th. There's been an unprecedented level of propaganda about that day. We think we found the truth. Here's an exclusive first look. How much of what we were told about that day is a lie?
If that was an insurrection, it was the most poorly conducted insurrection ever.
Patriot Purge, streaming now exclusively on Fox Nation.
Are you ready to start a great career?
Safelite is now hiring.
You will love your job.
There's room to grow.
And lots of opportunities. So what are you waiting for? Apply now and make a difference.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Man, I love that song.
When I was diagnosed with Dupuytren's contracture, I waited to get treated. Thought surgery was my only option. But then I found out about non-surgical treatments. It was a total game changer. Learn more about the condition at factsonhand.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPillow. Cancel culture has not only affected myself and MyPillow, but millions of you out there. My employees and I want to personally thank each and every one of you for all of your support. At MyPillow, we not only have pillows, but we have hundreds of products, including my new slippers, bathrobes, sleepwear, and my new beds. We're offering the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. For example, we have this exclusive offer on the standard size MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with your promo code. We also have the queen size MyPillows, regularly $79.98, now only $24.98 with your promo code. And we have the king size, regularly $89.98, now only $29.98 with your promo code. So go to mypillow.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive this exclusive offer.
Every once in a while, my heart can feel a little off, and even when it doesn't, I like to feel good about my heart health. That's why I have Cardio Mobile. Cardio Mobile is the only smart device in the world that is FDA cleared to detect the 3 most common heart conditions in just 30 seconds. And having one in your pocket not only gives you peace of mind, the doctor will thank you now.
Cardio Mobile is proven to detect atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke. It also detects bradycardia, tachycardia, and tells you when your heart rhythm is normal. And it's available now for only $79.
You can use Cardio Mobile anywhere. It lets you put your health in your own hands. I didn't think anyone could be happier about that kind of independence than me, but my doctor is over the moon. Thank you.
Feel good about your heart health with Cardio Mobile. Order yours today for just $79 at cardiomobile.com or Amazon. That's just $79 for a limited time.
Those drops you'll see probably won't touch me. I want to stay for the holidays.
If your dry eye symptoms keep coming back,
You may need to target information.
What?
You may need to target information.
No!
over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating the eyes and may provide temporary relief. Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease. It can provide lasting relief. Xiidra is the only FDA-approved non-steroid eye drop specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye twice a day. Don't use if you are allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Eyes will release, symptoms decrease. Xiidra can bring lasting relief.
This holiday, ask your doctor about Xiidra.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Welcome to Fox News Live. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer. President Biden is hoping his $1.8 trillion domestic policy package will clear the Hill in the coming week. The White House is hailing the spending bill as a remedy for our ailing economy. It does appear to have enough support in the House to get it past that hurdle, but the package faces a bigger challenge among Republicans in the Senate because of its hefty price tag. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is counseling time and patience to get the deal done. And former Trump advisor Steve Bannon will appear before a judge in Washington tomorrow. Bannon was indicted by a federal grand jury on 2 counts of contempt of Congress. It was for refusing to testify before the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol Hill riot. If convicted, Bannon could face 30 days to 1 year in jail. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer. Now back to a Kyle Rittenhouse investigation with Nancy Grace.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nancy Grace. Thank you for being with us. The medical examiner in this case had a lot to say, but first I want you to take another peek at Kyle Rittenhouse on the stand. Dave, could you roll that, please?
We're going to just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break, about 10 minutes, and please don't talk about the case during the break.
Wow. Okay, I've seen people break down and cry in the courtroom, but that was certainly something. I want to shift off Kyle Rittenhouse for just a moment and think about the victims that died. Now, this judge is not allowing them to be called victims. He wants them to be called rioters or protesters, but they're dead. They don't have any say in this. straight out to our renowned guest joining us tonight, Dr. William Maroney. Dr. Maroney, Chief Medical Examiner of Bay County, Michigan. I want to talk first about Rosenbaum. Dr. Maroney, could you just listen briefly to our cut number 10? This is the medical examiner that took the stand, Dr. Douglas Kelly.
Mr. Huber died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Mr. Rosenbaum died from multiple gunshot wounds. He's got an entrance wound to the front of his body, the right groin. He's got an entrance wound to the upper back. He's got a graze wound to the head.
Is it possible that the 4 gunshots caused all 5 wounds?
Yes.
Well, Dr. Maroney, do I have it completely backwards, or did I just hear him say Rosenbaum had a shot to the back? So how can it be self-defense if you shoot somebody in the back? Enlighten me.
Well, what happened is there's 4 gunshots. What